Hey, we're live. What's going on, everybody? It's night one of one of the biggest music events of the year, I would say. That's not Eurovision. Of course, we're talking about Sanremo. What's the word for night one? Serata?
La prima serata.
La
Prima
Prima
Serata.
Serata. And this time we didn't have Marika and Samuele with us last year, so now we actually have an Italian perspective, and we can not just fangirl slash fanboy over things and have zero context. Buonasera to both of you, Marika and Samuele, and to you, Lydia. How's everybody doing?
Great. We made it this far, guys. We're still awake. Yay.
I always feel quite bad for you guys because it's so late. Let's say hello to people in the live chat. Hello to Morton V, nice to see you. And Donatella, nice to see you as well. It's telling us, in the meantime, discover the greatness of Blanco, one of the one duetting with Mahmood. Check his songs Notti Bianco and La Canzone Nostra. Mi fai impazzire.
Close
You
to,
love him.
you're so good in Italian.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hello to Alexander saying Mahmood is the best. We'll definitely be talking about him pretty soon. Federico97 is saying, I've had Blanco on loop for all of 2021 already. Morton V, the host nation's entry is always an exciting one to look forward to. Yes. And one thing that we also know about the host entries is that they don't tend to do very well results-wise for most countries. However, I think, Lydia, you would probably agree with me that if there's any country that could break that pattern, Italy would be one of them, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we've never really had a bad song from Italy in the past 10 years. Even 2014, which was unfortunately the worst result for Italy, was a great song as well.
Yeah.
So every single song Italy has sent has been great, and I am very much certain that the song that they're going to send this year is going to be great as well.
We've got Claudio saying Mahmoud Blanco, amazing. And Stefano, hi from Turin. Well, we hope to be coming to you very soon. Federico also saying that they're from Turin, but currently in France. Vanessa, Maneskin, Muti, Bova, Fiorello, the top. I recognize most of those names, obviously Maneskin and Fiorello. Hello to Matt, nice to see you. Hello, Steph. Oh, we already said Mahmood and Noemi the best. And Marky Mark, nice to see you again. Great performances tonight. Mahmood and Blanco, Noemi, Achille, Lauro were my favorites, but strong across the board. And Stephen Kendall saying, happy to discover Medusa. Oh, well.
Discover.
Yeah, well, I mean, fair enough. I'm not also listening all the time to what's on the radio nowadays, but there are certain songs of theirs that I definitely recognize. But anyway, let's talk about the winners from tonight, who also happen to be one of the most anticipated names, a previous Sanremo winner and previous Eurovision participant, Mahmood, duetting with Blanco. I'll start with you, Samuele. What did you think of their song Brividi?
Well, I was expecting a ballad because the press was talking about a ballad, and it was like the press also was talking about an important staging with lightning, and it was highly anticipated. We knew that something like that was coming, but I was just impressed. I love that. I love that completely. Adore that. From all the 13 of this night, I want them to go to Eurovision. I don't know the others from tomorrow's night. We are going to see. But if the Sanremo, if Sanremo would have been composed of only those artists, most surely Mahmood and Blanco for Eurovision and Sanremo itself.
It's very amusing to see you kind of apologize for not calling it for calling it a national final, because usually it's the Italians reminding us it's not a national final. Don't call it that.
In fact, I am usually the one remembering you on our WhatsApp group that it's not a national final, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But the most important thing is that it's just a great event and one that we are all fans of. Marika, tell us what you thought about Mahmood and Blanco's song.
I was really impressed. It was really moving, and I knew that Mahmood had a great voice and he's a great live performer. So I was really waiting for Blanco. I just wanted to see how he came across in a live performance, and I think he was great, and I think he's going to get better as we get closer to the final. So the song I really liked. I have to listen to it many times to fully get it, but it was a really special moment tonight. Usually the first night I don't like any of the songs. It's always like this with Sanremo. I'm like, no, I don't like this, and then at the end of the week on Saturday, I'm singing, jumping on the sofa, on the couch, and just singing them all. And but this was a really special moment. I think it was one of the most interesting tonight, together with La Rappresentante di Lista and some other songs that I liked. But as I said, I need to go back to them and listen to them in the studio version and watch the performances again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I tend to feel the same way too, because I always feel like the first few nights are almost like watching a live rehearsal. And the live performances tend to get better by the time we get to the final night. But you know, it's still, even though like they have rehearsed themselves already, it still feels like they're you know, trying to do some refining as far as like the sound mixing goes, and then the performers for their own, to kind of find their own voices and their own comfort levels. But yeah, this is also one that I'm going to have to revisit as well, because as I've said many times before, if you watched Eurovoxx before, my favorite Eurovision song is Soldi, Italy 2019. So there are high expectations, and I definitely need to absorb this one a little bit more. One thing that I really loved was the kind of intensity between them at times when they like were kind of reaching out to each other and grabbing them. And because obviously, like, I don't really know too much about the song. I know that it's supposed to be about people who have a hard time like feeling love or anything like that. And you know, maybe you guys can, America, could you fill me in a little bit on what you picked up from the song?
I didn't pay much attention to the lyrics, or at least I can't remember them right now. So if Samuele remembers them, otherwise I can just pull them up and give you a clue about what's going on.
The problem with Sanremo is that with the, you know, the objective of like understanding which is the best song, you don't pay too much attention to the lyrics at the beginning. And it's just a first impression. And then, of course, many songs have a lot of lyrics, and even we Italians do not understand sometimes. So I didn't pay a lot of attention to the lyrics. I surely have to watch it again and read the lyrics again, because I think that is the strength of Italy in Eurovision, bringing something with deep lyrics that are usually in Italian, so nobody understands it, but the concept behind the lyrics is so strong that also people that do not understand Italian get it in many cases. That happened with Maneskin, that happened in many cases also with Diodato, even if not performed in Eurovision. And I think that this song could do like that. I got the general message behind it, that is, of course, as you said, a struggle, love, and how the other makes you feel shivers. That's the main point, but it's really simplistic like this. And they have a great friendship between them, even if Mahmood is 10 years older than Blanco. But they have a great friendship between one another, and they have a great relationship. So that intensified also the meaning of the song.
Lydia, what were your impressions of Mahmood and Blanco's song?
Let me take a breath in for a second. People that have been here last year with us after Sanremo know that I like Mahmood very much. Salt is one of my favorite Eurovision songs as well, and I was very much excited when I heard about Mahmood being in Sanremo again, because I absolutely love his music. He's an incredible songwriter and a performer. His songs always delivers. Like, I don't think I've ever heard a song that I didn't like of his. The song itself, in general, one word, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I was speechless when I was listening to it, because the raw emotion in the song, even though I don't speak Italian, just like you said, I could kind of like understand the emotions and the feeling, even though I had no idea what they were talking about. But just like their interaction on the stage, their tone of voices, it was just perfect. I don't even know how to describe that. I felt it in my heart. Let's just say that I absolutely fell in love with the song. I'm waiting really patiently for it, and passionately as well. Let's be honest.
Yes.
For it to be on Spotify in the UK, so that I can listen to it. And also their voices go together so well. The harmonies were incredible, and this definitely was my first time seeing Blanco and his songs, and seeing him perform as well. And I'm 100% sure, that I'm going to try and keep up with him in the future, because I really, really enjoyed his voice and the way he behaves on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was definitely my favorite of the night as well, because sometimes you hear a song and you're like, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's that song.
I felt that too, actually. Can I just jump in 1 second, Stuart?
Absolutely, I'm done.
No. Just to say that the producers behind the song, of course, are Mahmood and Blanco themselves, but there is Michelangelo that usually produces Blanco's song. So for many fans of Mahmood, this kind of song could be not in what Mahmood would do usually. So we are of course used to Mahmood's performing ballads. We already know that Mahmood can perform ballads and loves to perform ballads, but this kind of ballad is more, something that Blanco would put in his own album. So I would say that for fans, Eurovision fans that already know Mahmood, this song is kind of strange for him, because they are not used to see Mahmood in this kind of shade. I would say that it's more suitable for Blanco. In fact, in many comments under the Sanremo's performance on YouTube, in Italian comments say that this song is perfect for Blanco, and they don't know yet for Mahmood. So that's, just wanted to say this because I think it's intriguing and interesting.
No, it certainly adds to the context. I would like to get to some comments though, because we've had lots of them. Matt saying, I think La Rappresentante di Lista will sound even better in its studio version, but I enjoyed it a lot with the orchestra as well. We'll be talking about that right after we go through some of these. Neil Era says, I have Dove si balla stuck in my head. That was, I have the list.
Third.
Yes,
Dargen third.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that one didn't seem to be too popular in our group, but I like that one. And also showing some love, Neil Era, for Mahmood and Blanco. Donatella is saying the scenography of Sanremo this year is quite poor. They have to save money for Eurovision. I don't know. I feel like it's at the same level that it's been in the last few years.
I think it's really similar to the ones we've seen like the one that we've seen last year. They have rounded shapes because Rai this year seems to love round shapes, and we are okay with that because it's something that we don't see usually in Eurovision as well. I would say we are more used to see, squared or rectangular shades or angular shades, and it's interesting. I love also the design part of Eurovision and Sanremo, so I'm usually really tuned when I see graphics, and I would say that this year Rai did a pretty much good job for me at least.
I'm not sure if this is a joke, if this person's just pulling our leg. Yes, Spain has selected their song. It's Slow-Mo, Chanel. And let's continue talking about Sanremo. And now there's lots of people talking about Spain.
A lot of
Francesca
people talking about Spain.
Yes, I mean, we all really love that selection. Francesca's saying Mahmood was okay, said technically a good song, but it didn't catch them. Yeah, and I mean I can understand that, but again, let's see how things go later on. And Vincent F is saying, is it okay to like Achille Lauro's song?
Of course it is.
I think we had a few fans of that. Marika, was that one that you liked?
Yeah, it was nice, and I like the fact that he had the choir with him. And the performance was really Achille Lauro style, but his look was stripped down this time to pants pretty much. He didn't wear any shoes and he didn't have a shirt on. And I really loved the way he was moving on stage. It was really funny. And the song is okay. I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely a happy song. You can kind of hum along to it and along with it, and you can dance a little bit. So I think it's a great choice. for him to come back to Sanremo with this kind of song and with the choir, which was like the main thing for me. I really loved it.
And the song that he last competed with in 2020, I can't remember the exact title, but I believe it translated to "I Don't Care."
Me ne frego.
Me ne frego, yeah, exactly.
Wasn't it the 2019 song? And Rolls Royce the 2020?
Maybe it was. Anyway, the point that I'm getting at with this is that his whole energy is that. As soon as I learned that that's what the song translated to, that's just that I see him and I think I don't care, and it was him on stage, no shirt, like really showing off his physique quite a bit. Yeah. Definitely like eye-catching. I can't say that I love the song, but I did like the inclusion of the choir. It was the Harlem Gospel Choir, which was really cool to see. Lydia, what were your impressions of Achille?
I mean, you just love to see Achille perform. That's like the whole thing about him. Absolutely great performer. I enjoyed the energy on the stage, and I in general really like gospel choirs, so this was a pleasant surprise. In general, not the biggest fan of the song. I like his other entries way more. But I did enjoy this quite a lot, actually.
Jessica is asking us, do we think we have seen a Sanremo winner tonight? I think potentially.
Maybe.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Like most surely a top three. Most surely a top three.
Yep.
Certainly. And if we're going off of the results that we've seen, one of the most highly anticipated songs was by La Rappresentante di Lista, a returning act from last year. One of my favorite songs, I have to say, from last year, Mare, one that I'm listening to again and again and again. Samuele, what did you think about their song Ciao, Ciao?
Well, it was kind of different from the one that we were given last year. It was
Very
actually
different.
something different. It was more eye-catching, I would say. It was less conventional, It was a little bit more pop, I would say. It was more pop because it was more up-tempo. Amare was more... I don't know how to explain what Amare was. It was like a ballad that later on became a little bit more up-tempo. So it was more classic. This year I think they wanted to propose something new. And they did that, even if I liked Amare more. Amare was actually one of my favorites last year. It was my third, I believe, third or second. But I would say that Ciao Ciao is a good entry. And they are saying like... in the chorus, they are mentioning parts of the body, and at the end they say, "My booty, ciao ciao." So it's actually kind of funny because they are actually mentioning all this part of the body and then ciao ciao. I can get why the press is saying that is the most Eurovision ready. With proper staging, this song could be a bop, an absolute bop, I think. And if when you have a song like that in Sanremo and you have orchestra, that will impact you in a different way from the song that has been released on the market. So I usually tend to suspend my judgment up to the point in which I listen to the songs in Spotify or on YouTube, because they're completely different. For example, Måneskin this night, with the violins that were completely different from what they did in Eurovision for me. It was really different. Of course, it was better, worse, I don't know. It was okay. I think it was different. But with Ciao Ciao, I have this kind of impression that I will like the studio version more. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's fair to say, because it is a really different energy. And when you use the example of Måneskin for the fact that usually their instrumentation is proper rock instrumentation, and having that addition of strings really takes it to a different level, makes it feel a little bit more grand and epic. Marika, what did you think of La Rappresentante di Lista?
I liked it, and as I said, I want to listen to it again. But I really liked the bass solos, which made it a bit funky. It was really fun. I think that was my best part of the song. And I think it's gonna grow on me. It's really catchy. And sorry if I go back to Måneskin, but we need to talk about the performance of Coraline, because I was like, that was amazing. I'm
Amazing.
just gonna leave it there. But that could have won everything in the world. It was even better than Zitti E Buoni, and with the orchestra, it was just really, really amazing. They did a really great job tonight. So
yeah, I think we are going to talk about
Måneskin
in a bit.
Well, I mean, I'm going to Lydia. She's wearing the Måneskin shirt, and I'm sure that she'd love to talk. We could do another live on Måneskin. But first and foremost, La Rappresentante di Lista. Tell me what you thought about that, Lydia.
Okay, I guess it's a very unpopular opinion because I did not really like Mare last year. It was not one of my favorites, and I didn't really understand the hype, I guess, around it. I like the song way more. It's one of my favorites of the night. I would say it's my second favorite of the night after Mahmood and Blanco, which is a great top 2 for me. The song basically caught my attention from the first couple of seconds. It's very energetic. It doesn't make you bored. It's got incredible vocals. I mean, we've known that they have incredible vocals since last year, but it's still nice to hear them back. Great stage presence as well. The staging itself was really nice as well.
And this was easily one of the most energetic performances, I have to say. Again, because I was a fan of Amare, I was really looking forward to it. But I'm glad that it lived up to expectations, even though it is quite different in the nature of the song that it is. But why don't you, since everybody has kind of talked about Måneskin already, let's tell me your thoughts on their presence tonight.
Oh my gosh. Incredible. Can I just say incredible? Yes, incredible. Oh my god, there's such good performers. I absolutely adore them, their energy, their looks, their everything. As you said before, the orchestra with their songs, but especially the strings during Zitti E Buoni, there was like a little strings break. I really missed that in the Eurovision performance because that really elevates the song. I absolutely love that. But mostly talking about Caroline, definitely my favorite song of Måneskin. I'm really glad they performed it today. I kind of I can't relate to the lyrics a little bit, so it does make me it does make me cry pretty much every single time I listen to it. It's a really emotional song, and the way they performed it today, really I don't know if you can see it, but I think I still have some.
Oh, your makeup smeared?
Yeah, it is a little bit smudged because I did cry a little bit.
I
did get emotional. Mostly because Deviano got emotional. And it really got me there in the end. And this was my first time actually hearing it with orchestra and not just on Spotify with pre-recorded instrumentals. Great, absolutely incredible, stunning. Love them. I wish them all the best. And I really hope that the songs like Caroline and maybe La Paura del Buio and all the other songs that they have in Italian get more popular, just like Begging did, and I Want to Be Your Slave, because obviously they are in English, but they're not their best songs.
Begging is the worst song by Måneskin for me. Begging is the worst one.
And if I'm being perfectly honest, I like the song Begging. I like the Frankie Valli version and the famous one from that Norway, Madcon, which I think is probably the previously the most famous version of it. I'm not that big a fan of Måneskin's version, but because I like them as a band, I don't dislike it, but it did strike me as odd that was the song that really kind of springboarded them. And what you were saying just now, Lydia, about wanting their Italian songs to have a bigger platform. I did think as well about when I know that they've done TV show appearances in the US. Have they done proper concerts in the US?
Yes.
Yeah. They had a concert. Oh, sorry. No, go on.
No, go ahead.
They had a concert in New York in a small club, and they had one in Los Angeles, and they of course they also opened for the Rolling Stones, and they performed their Italian songs. They opened the gigs with the gigs with Italian songs.
Great.
Yeah.
Great to hear
Well,
that.
and that was exactly the question that I had, and that knowing that makes me happy because I feel like in some cases there would be some record label executive that would be like, "Yep, you're singing in English now, right?" So no, that's great.
Well,
what are you?
it's awful that they have an Italian manager, and they are labeled with Sony Italy, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. So I think it's great. I don't want them to pass over to the Americans. That is the only thing that I don't want. So please stay here.
But also, when they started, they were only singing in English before they became
right.
famous. So they like writing in English.
They
Actually, so.
won X Factor Italia with a song in English. It was actually. Did you manage to see when Amadeus was like? You don't know Italian, but maybe you can catch it. It was actually having like a target, a label thing on his hand, and it was the first song written by Damiano. It was Chosen. That is the song with whom Maneskin won X Factor.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it was accredited to the CI, that is the labeling facility in Italy. I don't know how to explain this. That is.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. We're all clearly still fans, even only a full year later since the last edition. I want to know what were some other highlights for you tonight. America, tell me what was another song that you really jumped out at you.
Oh God, another song that I really liked was nothing. As I said, I didn't really like the songs tonight, but it's normal. I'm gonna like them more in the next days. But no, Rappresentante and no, actually, I kind of liked Mena. I mean, it's not that I loved her. I didn't love her, but I was expecting something worse because the press was talking trash about her pretty much. They were saying that her song was trash, but I don't think it's trash. It's pretty nice. So I was surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, the impression that I got from some of the people in the chat was that it sounds a little old school, and I kind of know what they're saying in the sense that it sounds like a kind of early 2000s dance track, which I mean for me is not a problem because that's a genre that I loved, especially back then. But I don't know. To me, I wasn't like put off by it. I could see why maybe when it comes to a competition, why maybe it wasn't as highly valued as some of the other ones were. But Samuele, what were your impressions of Mena?
Well, I think it will be valued more by the public, maybe not by the demoscopic jury, but I think that the public will elevate a little bit in the final lead board. It's not my type of music. I enjoyed more previous songs that she did. For example, the version of Música Leggerissima that she sang in Spanish is actually really good for me. It's kind of really like it's almost the same as the Italian version, but it was pretty much good. And this is a little downgrade for me. It reminds me a little bit of what we were used to see from the southern Italian pop panorama in the 2005, 2006. It is not bad, as you said before. It's something really Mediterranean and a little bit of poppy disco. I liked it, but I would have. She sings pretty well. She's a great singer. I would have liked her to do a ballad. I don't know. I wanted her to go with a grand and majestic ballad, maybe with some not flamenco but Spanish inspired sounds and I don't know. I wanted something different. This is something a little bit, I don't know, basic for me.
Fair enough. And it's funny that you talk about like the Mediterranean vibes of it, because that's exactly what I wrote down. I wrote down Mediterranean party, which to me is like, yeah, I want to go to that party. Why not? Lydia, your thoughts on Mena?
Well, I do. I do take notes whenever I listen to the Sanremo song so that I know what to talk about. And the only thing that I have written for this song is it reminds me of Festival di Sanremo.
Oh, you mean like like not Ranella, Rosarta's song, the one that I told you that I really liked with the kind of Coca Cabana sound.
Oh yeah, like the bride song or whatever it was called, right?
Yeah, a young Missy.
Kind of, yes.
I
yes.
love that song. I still watch that performance. She was as far as I'm concerned, she had the best performance of Festival di Congress. But anyway, let's not get off topic.
Yeah, I don't really remember the song, if I'm being honest. Because all I've got written down is Festival di Congress. I guess I didn't think I would talk about it.
Okay, fair enough. Then let's move on. Donatella's not a fan. Neapolitan neo-melodic songs are hardly loved outside Naples. Yeah, that's interesting. An interesting word, neo-melodic. For I don't know. It doesn't seem that complex to me.
No, it's
it's neo-melodic.
We call it
it's
neo-melodic.
Neapolitan neo-melodic song. It's
a genre.
It's kind of
it's a genre that is mostly used. I don't know, and adopted in the territory near Naples, and it goes hard like in the south of Italy. Like I lived in Palermo, which is in Sicily, for like a month, and when I was there, I could hear like cars just
pump it up.
Pumping up neo melodic music. So
it's crazy.
Italy. And for instance, my friends they loved Anna Mena because they like neo melodic. So
All right. Well, I'm glad that I learned a little bit about that because I was like, what is that word? And Mr. Giancana, yes, Anna Mena is at the top of our poll.
What?
We have a So we have a poll. Okay, calm down, someone.
Please, no.
I know you get very passionate about Sanremo, but we have a poll at our website, Eurovoxx.tv. It should be in the description as well for you to vote on which song you liked the most from night one of Sanremo. So please do that. And if you're as disgusted as Samuele is,
it's not that I'm disgusted. It's not that I'm disgusted. I'm surprised. Maybe because there were a lot of Spanish people like watching Sanremo tonight. My Twitter was invaded by Spanish fans like wanting really hard for Anna Mena. So I can see why the poll is leaning towards Anna Mena, but it was not the best of the night. At least for me, it was not the best of the night. So for me, the best were Blanco and Mahmood. My second one was Noemi. For me, it was great for me. Like you can see why. Like it was produced by Dardas, written by Mahmood. It was like a complete package. And she sang effortlessly, really well. She's a great performer. She's a beautiful singer. She's great. Glicine last year was really good, a really good Italian ballad. It was kind of different from the standard one. But this year, the song is beautiful. It mixes up tradition and modernity. It mixes up ballad with pop. It's actually a pretty good and solid song. And I would say that this song could do well with the public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm always looking forward to the songs that both Mahmood and Dardas are bringing to the festival. They're always, even like last year when I always kind of like cross-reference the lists that has like all the producers and songwriters, but it's hard to keep track of it all. And then there'd be certain songs that come up that catch my attention and I'm like, oh, this is really great. And then I look at the list and it's like, guess who's there, right?
Well, that's why you love Mare, because Mare was produced by Dardas.
Exactly. Lydia, excuse me, I saw that you kind of perked up when Noemi was mentioned. So tell me what you thought about her.
One of my favorites of the night. I really liked it. I absolutely loved her voice. I like raspy voices in general, but raspy voices on women, incredible. Absolutely love that. And also her voice is also like really strong.
Definitely.
And also she was sleeping and stuff. Really cool. And obviously Mahmood wrote the song, so like what can we expect? Obviously it would be great. When I heard the song, I was like really anticipating actual Mahmood song, because if this is the song that he gives to somebody, what is the song that he has?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was really Mahmood style, you know. You could hear that the song was written by Mahmood.
Yes, I agree. Also, she's gorgeous. Oh,
she's beautiful.
I had to remind myself over and over not to fall in love, because oh my god, she's so beautiful.
She actually went, let's say, over a process of accepting herself and her body more, and it changed her. Not she changed her body, like not like plastic surgery, but she actually went over this kind of process, and now she loves herself, and that's actually something that you can see while she's performing.
That she's like confident in her own skin.
She's really confident, and I would say that the dress was stunning. She was like a princess this night.
Yeah, one that I definitely remember. Yeah, she looked phenomenal. Marika, what did you think about Noemi?
I loved it. Just sad that her voice didn't really. I mean, there was something wrong with the mixing of the voice tonight. I think they will fix that tomorrow, hopefully. So I'm just waiting to hear the song in the studio version, so I can hear her beautiful voice like fully and in the best setting possible, best possible setting. And yeah, but the song was beautiful, and you could really hear Mahmood's writing in it. I mean, not for the lyrics, maybe even the lyrics, but as I said, I didn't pay much attention to them. But like in the vocal lines, in the melodies that she was singing, especially in the verse, I think you could really see that Mahmood helped with that song, helped writing that song. Yeah,
it's the same that happened with LOD in 2020. The same. It was like Mahmood's pen on the melody line. It's pretty much something iconic for him, and you can actually recognize it at the first glance. I would say.
And the production as well, you can really hear the kind of details that Dardust adds. It's certain characteristics, certain instrumentation styles that I really like.
I think she was undervalued by the press this night. She came sixth.
Oh yeah, well. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see her higher, but I mean, it's still, it's not like it was last.
I think it was top 3 this night. She was top 3, I would say.
Ángel nos preguntamos ¿a dónde puede ver el festival? Busca Rai Play. He's asking where we can. Yes, exactly. He was just asking where he can watch the festival.
En Rai World, Rai Mondo. I think that there is the channel Rai Italia. It's called Rai Italia. I don't know what is the channel for every single country. There should be a channel on the TV. But of course, Rai Play is the best one out of them, out of the options that we have.
So Francesca loved Noemi's song, especially when the electronic beat kicks in. So yesterday in an interview, Ivan Urgant, the host of Ciao 2020 and Ciao 2021, said Festival Sanremo is already very popular in Russia. Interesting.
Yes.
Opinions on Rkomi. So I have to admit, this is one of the ones that I actually had to step out of the room to sort out some things. So I missed it. Did anybody have any comments about him?
It's typical Rkomi, I would say. I'm not a huge fan of him, but he was the most streamed male artist in 2021. His own album was the first one in pretty much all over the year in Italy. But I think that the song was like, it was in his style, and it was a mix between rock and rap, something that could remind maybe Eden, maybe, but not at that level. I'm sorry. For me, it was not at the level, really auto-tuned. And in that case, it was not like the use of auto-tune as a specific instrument for me. Like the auto-tune that Blanco uses as an instrument, because Blanco had auto-tune this night, of course. It was not as high in other performances, but there were. And Rkomi used that, but I didn't like it how he used that. So I was pretty much neutral to that performance, specific performance this night. Maybe with a few listen more, it could grow on me.
And we talked about this as well last year, Lydia, about how we really noticed the presence of autotune that year at Sanremo. And for the most part, it felt like there's a little bit of like an uncanny valley thing going on, where like you recognize that that's what you're hearing, but because it just seems so kind of processed, and especially when compared to other songs where people are singing full voice without much effects over top, it seems to have, at least on my end, a little bit of like an off-putting effect. But what was your impression of this particular performance?
I mean, once again, the only thing that I have written down for this one is "Autotune My Beloved." That's all. But I do remember the song itself, and I remember that I didn't particularly like it. I agree with Samuel, because you could like actually like not have the autotune in there, and it wouldn't change anything. Like it's pretty much just a song that could have been all right on its own, but kind of the autotune there made it a little bit off-putting for me. And I would rather not have it there. But honestly, everything goes to the artist. If they want that to be there, let them have it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, when it came to Benidorm Fest, there was a whole controversy about an entry that decided to pull out, but that was because it wouldn't be permitted at Eurovision, not necessarily Benidorm Fest.
But
Marek,
people in Sanremo don't care about Eurovision, so they just go in.
Marika, any impressions on Rkomi's song?
I think he was interesting, and I like him. I know some of his songs, and I think he has an interesting voice. Even though, I mean, he uses autotune, but he does it in a good, I mean, in an original way. It's something that is really specific to his songs and to his art in general. So I think the song was interesting. It had some rock elements at the beginning, and he was not very confident.
Oh no!
No!
Oh no!
Come back!
Marika, come back!
Musical background. He comes from rap, and it's just another. You're all frozen. I hope that you see what I'm saying. Okay, did you?
We're back.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was interesting. So let's see how it evolves in the next night. But yeah, not bad.
There was one other entry that I wanted to talk about, and earlier I did see a comment about somebody saying that they felt that their song was a little bit sleepy. Giussi Ferreri. So I have to admit, she's not actually an artist that I know a tremendous amount of information about, but I remembered her from when she was a guest at Festival di Sanremo 2 years ago, I believe. And
really?
Yeah. And I just remember being really surprised by the timbre of her voice, because it's so raspy and in a similar way to Noemi's voice, but it's still quite distinct. And I want to know what people's impressions were of her song. What did you think, Lydia?
A pleasant song.
Okay.
I don't remember much about it. I didn't give it a high score. But I mean the use of the, what do you call those things, megaphones?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it a megaphone. Like, I don't know if a megaphone has to be electronic or anything, but it serves that function.
It can be like just like that. So it's megaphone.
That was interesting, I guess.
Well, Twitter and Instagram are full of memes about her.
Like, I can understand that, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. I didn't really particularly like the song itself.
Fair enough. How about you, Samuele?
So it's a very, I would say, classy song. She's coming back to her origins, I would say, a little bit. We are used to see her during the summers doing this kind of bops that are usually played in the beach or in the discos, and we are not used to that kind of juicy that she served this night in Sanremo. I think that she went a little bit with her previous songs, the songs that she started her career with. So, for example, Novembre, that was her hit song. I still see that she's trying to innovate herself, but coming back to the origins, taking something out of it and, putting it in another way. I think that it was interesting. It's not my type of music. I would not listen to that song a lot of times. I would, of course, listen again every single song from this night, but it's not my particular genre. But she sang well. She's a really, more than graspy voice, she's a nasal voice, I would say. How can I say it in English? It's like It's
Well, yeah,
na
nasal, yeah,
nasal.
but nasal,
Okay.
like I associate that more with it being kind of like I don't know, like Urkel, like sounding like this, you know?
No, it's like in Italian when you have like when you see voices like that, you can say it's a nasal voice, also with a
Interesting.
positive attribute. Like Marika is okay, like she has a nasal voice, right? We would say
Yeah.
voce nasale, like in Italian, more than
Yeah.
graspy. Um,
Raspy,
Noemi
for me, it's Noemi. Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Noemi
was
has a
gonna
more
say.
graspy voice. Elodie has a more graspy voice.
Mm,
She has a more nasal voice that is, and her tone is like when you hear her voice, you just recognize her because it's like she's really popular in Italy. She's an icon.
yeah, yeah.
But the song is nothing special, so it's not memorable. Like Lydia didn't remember two songs before, so their songs are not memorable, so they will not be standing out. Also
Hmm.
during the final, also for Eurovision, we need to search something that stands out. Most of all because we remember we are an automatic qualifier, so we need to stand out in the final. It's the same thing that I said for Spain.
Hmm.
We need to stand out. So this song does it for me.
Fair enough. And I mean, I guess I was really the only one that was like, "Oh, this is really nice. I
And
enjoy it."
toi, and
I
toi
can
as
see
well.
what's that?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I can see it's it's understated. It's not here to make a lot of noise.
And Andy as well. So let's say hi to Andy that likes Giusy very much.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did kind of his ears kind of perked up when we
Yeah,
mentioned that she was going to be there.
yeah.
We've got Signore del Alberino asking, "What about Gianni Morandi?" And I believe I have him written down, or do I?
It
Oh
was
yes, yeah.
amazing.
He had you were saying that it was written by one of the most famous Italian songwriters.
Songwriters, yes, Giovanotti, Lorenzo Cherubini. He is actually a songwriter. He's a singer and songwriter. He is also a TV personality. He's really popular in Italy. Everyone loves it. Pretty much all the population, ranging from the like children to really like all adults. Everyone love him. He actually lives in the United States, I think in New York, and he produces from there. And he actually writes a lot of songs for many Italian artists, and pretty much like he did a tour. Giovanotti did a tour during the summer in every single Italian beach, and was pretty much like one of the best successes of the summer. So he's really talented songwriter more than singer, I would say. He's more like he's really charismatic, you know. So when you see him, it's like, oh my god, he's the best person in the world. So he likes to write these really happy songs, and he did it for Gianni. They are not the same age, so Lorenzo is like 30 years younger than Gianni, but Gianni Morandi is iconic. Like he hosted Sanremo. He was one of
Hmm.
the hosts, I think, when Emma Marrone won, if I'm not mistaken. So in 2011, it was the host, and of course we remember Emma with Non è l'inferno. That was actually one of my favorites Sanremo songs. But Gianni hosted Sanremo. He won several times Sanremo. He went to Eurovision. So he's a Eurovision. He went to Eurovision, right, Marika? I'm saying something stupid right here. I think he went.
I don't think so.
You
But
didn't?
maybe I think Massimo Ranieri went twice to
Massimo, sorry,
Eurovision,
Massimo
but
went.
Gianni, I
Gianni
don't think
didn't.
so.
I'm sorry. I made a gaff here, but okay. He won Sanremo. He won Sanremo, and he hosted it. And the song was pure, like, it was fun. It was fun. It was energetic, and it's something that you don't really expect from someone that is in his 70s to bring something like this, so poppy, so energetic. Of course, it's something suitable for him. It's not like a bop or a really modern bop. It's more or less something retro, but it gets the attention. Of course, not a contender for the win. It is not a contender for Eurovision, but it's fun, and I think we need songs like this in the contest.
Yes, of course. A lot of the things that you spoke to, it's just that it's a really classy thing. It was a fun performance. It was one that I certainly jumped out at me. Lydia, was this one that you were fond of?
It's actually one of the songs I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
It is one
please.
of my favorites of the night. I had 4 favorites. It's one of my favorites. It's a very fun song. It's really groovy, and
Yes, I was right.
I
Sorry.
just really enjoyed the atmosphere. I really enjoyed the fact that he enjoyed being on the stage and perform. You could just say that he was really into it, and I always appreciate seeing artists being appreciative of being on a stage performing and actually enjoying themselves. So that's incredible. I'm pretty sure I saw that he's 77, right?
Yes.
Wow.
But he has so much energy. It's just unbelievable. I really like that. It really lifted my mood up.
Yeah, mine too. Excuse me. It was definitely a memorable performance. And Mariko, it was one that you enjoyed too?
Yeah. I don't really have. I didn't think much about it. It's Gianni Morandi, and I think he. I can't forget all his songs like Fatti mandare dalla mamma. I know his hits from the past, so I didn't really care for this one. But yeah, he did a great job. It's just really nice to see him in Eurovision, because he's always so so happy. So he's like a sunny person. Like, he brings happiness and energy. So it's really great to have him. And I hope he will. I know he's competing, so he can't do anything. Like, it wouldn't be fair to have him like do a monologue or something like that. But he's like a really funny guy. So maybe in the next years we will see him in Sanremo again doing something
Like Orietta.
interesting. Yeah, like Orietta.
Anyway, so it's obviously getting pretty late, and we haven't been able to at least address some performances. So I think that we should probably wrap it up about now. Before we go, let's say each of us, the person that we're looking forward to most for tomorrow. So starting with you, Marika.
Elisa.
Okay. How about you, Samuele?
Elisa, 100%.
And Lydia?
Fabrizio Moro.
Okay.
I really like his music and I love his voice. Also, he's really hot. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a daddy. He's a really good daddy.
He's a good-looking guy, and one that we've seen at Eurovision not too long ago. So obviously,
also maybe Rama tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Which is my choice. That's the one who I am most excited about. Although
I'm sorry,
also the ones that have been mentioned as well, Elisa. And again, this is a week that always brings me a lot of music that I carry on throughout the rest of the year. So one that I'm looking forward to. I hope that the rest of you are also just as excited for what we haven't yet seen, because obviously we've had a pretty solid night so far. Thank you so much for joining us. Two things. First, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Eurovoxx. Also, if you haven't done so already, vote in our poll. You can vote for which performance tonight was your favorite. So we'd love to know what you think. And don't be sure to check in with us more, because we're going to be doing lives after most of the nights this week. It won't be after every night, but we will be catching up with you guys as much as we can. And we cover all the other national selections if those interest you as well. We've had a really great one that we just saw in Spain, and there's lots more to look forward to. Things are really picking up now that it's February, and it's going to be crazy. Songs are going to be coming left, right, and center. And we love for you to take part in all the action with us, to let us know what you think about these songs, who's going to be winning, who's going to be doing well at Eurovision, and all the other things that are related to that. But we will leave it there. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Marika. Thank you, Samuele. Grazie mille. And we will see you tomorrow night. Take care.
Yes.
Bye.